Hello YouTube, today is the 16th November 2015 and I'm here. What a beautiful lake. And the topic is Kruno on Islam part 1. So first things first, the Credo. The one, which is the truth, which is the love, which you call God, created a challenger to really see what it is. And also divided itself into myriad, lots of souls like us. By the way, about 20% of people on planet Earth are sold, others are not. And then, can you imagine like that body of God as like one big mass of consciousness and love, and then we are like a strings, like a hair coming out of it and touching the touching zone, which is we are entering into the realm of evil, of the challenger. And then our physical bodies are basically where these strings end, and physical bodies are simply containers for them. We can be born as humans, as animals, even as insects. And it's the same ratio, Pareto's ratio. About 20% of insects and so on are sensitive. They take more time to decide something. And they are very careful and they learn from their mistakes, while others, who are organic portals, they don't. And this is very important, and I'm going to come to this one later on. So, what are the basics of understanding of the energy? It's like understanding the plus or minus. It's that basic. The love, which is the creator, which is the truth, never killed anybody. It's the source of the energy. It's the energy. This is why we get the energy when we meditate. And then the other, the challenger, the Dajjal, or devil, he is not the source of the energy. He is actually not soul. It's the only entity created not to be soul. But he has incredible authority to attack the unity and to feed on it. Therefore, it needs sacrifices and it needs adoration. Well, the real true God doesn't need sacrifices. It doesn't need your adoration. He simply needs you to allow him to enter in you while you're entering in him, and when your heart is open, you know that you are there, that you are connected. And this is the meditation I'm doing, and it's hard, because ego is the enemy, and ego is here, it's a program. So, in the essence, your Islam, you're following it, I know that you're watching it, is for those who are following it, and they're going to be here. Islam is basically mind-controlling program, one of many on this planet. Every single religion you see is the religion constructed for people to be controlled. So now, how it's going on our planet? You have a human race, and then within the human race, you have the Illuminati race, which is the sub-race of the human race, between 1 and 2%, extra mental abilities, stronger physical strength, and then us, of course, and mind control deeply. And they might control us. Above them, you have reptiles. One reptile would normally control 4 or 5 Illuminati families, and then above them, you have a demons. Every single Illuminati house has a family demon. And then you have a Lucifer, which is also sold, and then you have basically metaphysical evil in the whole hierarchy. You have both mixed elements, which are soulless and souled in the control. And every single soul being, including Lucifer, is mind controlled. So, back to the Islam. Islam is the only religion which is publicly sacrificing people on this planet. Nobody is doing it publicly. Illuminati and Satanists, they are, of course, divided between two groups, Satanists and Luciferians. It's incredible, but in every single religion, you always have this division. Even among them, you have division between Satanists and Luciferians, and between you, Shia and Sunni, between Christians, Eastern Orthodox, Western Christianity, and between Buddhism, Theravada, and Mahayana, and you know, I don't know how it's going on with the Hindus. Never been there. So, furthermore, right, the sacrifice, and it's like, and I've seen it on the YouTube. Virtually, a preacher says, okay, there is a scene. A group of soldiers lined up to be executed in a house, and the preacher goes, "Oh Allah, take these sacrifices on your altar," and then he kills people. And then I decided to measure time on a wristwatch. And so this is the sacrifice. Also feeds on the worship as well. These ego types, they need these elements of violence and worship to extract your energy. When you focusing somewhere, for example, to the Allah, the god also represented as a moon, or as a half moon eating a star, which is also symbolic, and I'm going to come to that, you are sending him the energy. So now, about the moon. First of all, moon is not a natural satellite. Moon is unbelievable as it is a huge UFO. It is a quote-unquote Death Star. It's not really a Death Star. I don't know what was the original name, but it was created by the race from Sirius, which created humanity in its genetic form, and it's been exploiting us for millions of years in pretty much similar system, and then reptilians took over their farm 6,000 years ago. When they took over their farm, they also took over as well the moon, and this is their base. It's a reptilian base. It's the only object which is not, it's the only planet and satellite which is not evolving around its axis. Only one. It's hollow, and this is exactly it was exactly the name of the first version of Allah, which was the god of the moon, which is basically a reptilian archetype, and then later on became the omnipotent god. Well, this system actually started with Osiris 6,000 years ago, the one only god after the takeover of a previous civilization. This one left us pyramids, for example. Also, lots of pyramids under the water, pyramids in Bosnia, pyramids in Egypt, in Mexico, and in China, and so on. But this is another topic. They also call it Atlantis, but it was not really Atlantis. It was not an island, it was simply civilization everywhere. And what else to tell about the Islam? So Islam is a very well constructed mind control tool, and how religion, especially Islam, works is people are, especially soul people, are seeking that unity with the God, with the source, and we all feel it one way or another, depending how pure we are. But then, when you trying to make this connection, you make some sort of connection between your body, your mind, however you have a contact with your soul, with the source. First you have to make a contact between your ego and your soul, pure contact, and purify yourself, and then between that and what you call a God, but a real God. And where was I? So now that civilization, reptilian civilization, try to imagine that from the beginning of takeover, they had like a planned scenario for next 20,000 years of the spin on this planet. All the religions which gonna come, which used to be, all the civilizations which used to be, which gonna come, which still are, and all the spins in between them, everything is kind of computer layout, because they are simply slaves of another master, and there is always another master. However, that ultimate master of our dimension is evil, and it needs our energy. And through the challenge we are going, we are seeing what we are. But yes, we want to hear something about Islam. And in the essence, Islam is in many aspects similar to all other religions, except for a few facts. It creates a very effective mind prison. For example, Muslim is the only member of religion which cannot leave its religion. It can, but it's risky. And also, it's a perfect construct which combines all the elements of life: fertility, marriage, divorces, and all other aspects. When Muhammad, and we call it a prophet, and he was definitely not an ordinary man. When he was launching his spin, and when he was telling what's going to happen, he was actually telling about the plan already prelayed by the basically guides from the moon, by the metaphysical evil. And this is why these things started to spin out unroll that way as they're unrolling, like a fall of Rome, Istanbul, and then another fall of Rome, the real Rome in Italy, etc. What else to say about this? In a previous updates, and with every single one, something technically happened, and what normally happens when you're playing with the artificial intelligence, when you're exposing it way too much. But I have so much more to say about it. So, right, when I was reading Quran, and I have to admit that I read only half of it, but I really got the idea. The Muhammad is going through the first line. First, what he's repeating is he's repeating his status that he's the last messenger of the God. He goes Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and I'm the final one. So he always repeats that. Second thing, what he repeats is he condemns all people who are not believing in him, and from there comes all these quotations for a murder and destruction, like kill all infidels, or when they start running, kill every single one of. When they start running. Catch them, cut their limbs crosswise. This is why they're cutting limbs, or choke them or kill them some other way, or don't let your heart be softened by their children and their houses, or and this is especially for the pop Muslims, the fake Muslims, which are majority, which is good, but they're fake. He says when others go to jihad, more than infidels, Allah despises those who say others go while they are standing by their houses and their gardens. So in this way, he's clearly showing who's the real Muslim and who is not. Definitely that silent majority which is staying by their houses and their gardens are not real Muslims in the eyes of Quran. So this also explains who are the real Muslims. So-called terrorists, but I actually call them real Muslims, or the pop Muslims, or the majority. I'm sorry to say, but the peaceful majority is not practicing the real Islam. Real Islam includes all the elements Islamic State has. And Islamic State is the purest expression of Islam. Absolutely that I'm not the supporter. I'm simply judging this in accordance of the Quran, what I read. Because they have all elements. They have mass murder, they have slavery, they have amputations, they have also social element of the state, and they have permanent warfare, because real caliphate cannot stay peaceful more than 1 year, and cannot have and every year must launch a war against infidels, and cannot have a peace more than 1 year, and definitely stable borders more than 10 years. So this one is really living the example of the of the first years of Islam, when it was really brutal. And another thing, another way of contest is the contest by the fertility. It's been encouraged in the Quran for Muslims to go to the kafir lands, infidel lands, and breed there. So you see, it's like, where is the individuality? What happens to the people? You see, all these masses are simply one unity. In essence, everybody who accepts Islam is pushing it. Even the smallest child, even a woman, is pushing this agenda of what they call the Islamist religion of peace. And that means that peace will come when Islam is the only religion. Till that moment, everybody else is going to be murdered or converted. So when Muslims are telling you Islam is the religion of peace, and they know the Quran, that means they are laughing in your face. Because in Quran it's clearly said that infidels should not know what's written in Quran. And you know what, it's awesome that Europeans are not reading Quran, because they would go through shock as I did. I was skeptical, incredibly, about the brutal parts in Quran. I didn't believe in that. I even asked my friend Muslim at that time, is it true? He said, no, I got the Quran, it was true. And I lost a friend. That's like a part A about the Quran. Maybe it's going to be part 2. That was Kruno on Islam. Thank you for watching, and please do not decapitate me over this.